Once again, we return here to the Pantheon, here to the Gauntlet. Hi, I'm Patrick. These are Gauntlet people. Say hi, everyone. Yeah, don't say anything. It'd take too long. Just wave. Wave at the nice people. There you go. Look at them. They're also friendly. We're here. We're playing Monsterhearts 2 in a Wicked Divine setting, in a complicated, messy, soap opera-ish 3-month-long arc here, which has gone all over the place. So many different forms of sentient water in this city. It's just craziness here. So we have Alex and Lauren rejoining us after a long hiatus. Enma and Angus, not quite sure. Up in the air. We'll have to see what comes out of that. Things are changing. Things are always changing here. So while they are thinking through and sort of solidifying new looks at characters, we're going to start with Ryan and Barry. We're going to start with Apep and Khonshu in our cliffhanger from last time. Ooh, I have bat nails. Ha ha! Bat nails. Bat nails. Okay, that happened. Welcome. Here we are. So we're gonna restart in the remains of St. Paul's Cathedral, in a St. Paul's Cathedral shaped eye of a hurricane, which is going on in the middle of London. All this very abnormal. But Tezcatlipoca, oh god, here we go. Magdalena Tezcatlipoca, formerly Huitzilopochtli, all played by Sarah, who hates my tongue. Did some weird weather stuff, got all screamy with some people. It was unfortunate. It was extra, and it, ended with Apep eating Magdalena a little bit. I mean, just there we go. Okay, cool. So there are three of you, a big snake, Apep, Khonshu, and Oz left in the middle of this wreckage here. So talk a little bit about what you see going forward. Apep, you had ended in your darkest self, correct?
Possibly. I didn't quite finish watching the entire thing. So I was going, I know I ate somebody, and I know that I
You
got a
did do it.
god shoved into me.
I think didn't
I'm pretty sure I was
Oz
darkest self.
didn't Oz strike you and then just like spend a bunch of strings on
Right.
increasing
I took 2
damage?
harm from like crash landing in the underground, and then he
Mm-hmm.
killed me. So yeah, I'm in darkest self. So I need to wound someone I really care about, or have the sun rise, and then I'll be possibly Liam again. For now, it's just Murder Snake.
Okay, and you are like fully transformed, fully murder snake, fully extra.
Giant cobra, yeah. Just chilling in London. Totally
All right.
normal.
And Khonshu, you weren't in darkest self, I don't think.
Correct. I did not. I was. I had kind of a weird position in the last in that last showdown. Like, I think that Apep and I showed up because oh god, something terrible is happening, and we were able to stop / help Magdalena before, and we might be able to do that now. We did not. We did not do anything good for Magdalena, obviously. So I as far as the actual conflict went, I think I didn't get through the end of the last video. My apologies, but
Okay.
so I don't recall exactly what Khonshu's what was going on with Khonshu, other than like we got there, Oz got there, it turned into a giant conflagration, and
Uh,
I remember I
that's all I
accused
remember.
you of trying to knock me out of my darkest self, which must have been that like I was gonna injure you, but I don't know.
So what had happened was, y'all all got to the church. It got blown up. Hurricane. There was Zolotl there. He and his like horrible Johnny Depp reject outfit went flying off into the storm. Now sentient hurricane, guys, get excited. Um, you were all fighting. Magdalena beat up Father Richards a little bit, Surya, and went over and like sort of ritualistically tore his god Surya out of him, and ate it a little bit, and then started looking really like her god had taken her over again, sort of on a rampage, causing pain and death, and it ended with a lot of like players working together, but the decision that Apep, in the midst of going full darkest self, full snake monster, would eat Magdalena. Um, Again, getting rid of Magdalena's god because she got the worst gods, and swallowing Surya's god essence, giving Apep the chance to eat the sun just like he's always wanted to. It was magical. It was wonderful. Um, but we stopped sort of on a cliffhanger there right after you ate Magdalena, still very much in your darkest self, to try and figure out what was going on forward there. Does that restate us? People understand where we are?
I think so. I do think that if it would be appropriate, I would love to get in the flashback because I know what question I want to ask Ryan from from that move standpoint, and I think that I can. I mean, I trust dice. Dice are good. Dice do things for me sometimes.
Okay, then
I think that like the cold open of the flashback and then into the darkest self scene might I think that might work.
Okay.
If that works for you, if that works for Ryan.
Yeah.
I am always down for and in the middle of murder, awkward flashback to when you were mad at me. So.
Well, I don't know if I was I mad at you, but
I don't know. Awkward flashback.
Right.
It could go any way.
Right. So then where would we have met, like between our Christmas special and the events of last issue, when we went and found the scene where Lakshmi had been, where Lakshmi's body had been found, and that through gazing into the abyss, I determined that it was Edma that did it.
I don't know. On my end, it seemed like it was a pretty, steady stream of I find the note, I go find you. But it would make sense if there was a scene in there somewhere, so it could happen wherever. Did you find me? Did I find you? Did we bump into each other in like the underground water cooler?
Well, so yeah, when we parted on the rooftop in Paris, like you just bugged out.
When we parted, you mean when I freaked out and ran away?
Yeah, that is 100% accurate. So I think that I would seek you out if for no other reason than to figure out like what the hell. I thought we had a connection. This is the worst power couple if I have to like come and get you all the time. Where would be a good place for me to find you?
So it sounds like it'd be a very Apep-y place. What's a very Apep-y place?
I mean, are you going for an Apep-y place, or are you going for a Pluto-y place, or are you going for a Liam-y place? What's your approach here?
Ooh, I don't know. That's why I'm trying to figure out how we would
if you're
how
just
we would go about
a train tunnel yelling for Apep, then that's one thing. But are you going to try to like track down his room, or?
I like the image from the comic enough that we should use it for like the 5th or 6th time, and have Kanchi in the underground screaming down the train tunnel.
Yes. Only instead of Morgan showing up going like, wow, you must really want to get hit by a train, it's Apep just going like, fucking what? You have my number.
I didn't think that you got reception down here.
Although still with the extremely unnecessary like snake punches through the wall and then there's it just kind of curls off like cigarette smoke almost going away into the underground and it's just Liam and there's no hole where he came through and
Oh, how
none of this was
conscientious.
necessary. It's completely unnecessary. Everything is just ridiculous here as he's going like you have my number. What?
Wow, that is not the way that I expected you to greet me at all. That's unbelievable. Um,
You're hanging out in a tunnel screaming my name. I mean, come on.
it's what
That's
it's all that some of us ever wanted. I'm just saying.
that's essentially like texting him nonstop for an hour. I mean, come on. Go for it.
I'm not desperate. You're desperate. Um, okay. Um, so the like when you show up and you're like, fucking what? Uh, uh, Conchu, like she stops and like kind of tilts her head at you and says, "What the fuck do you mean, fucking what? Where did you go? Why did you take off like that?" I thought that we had a moment and you made sure that it was only a moment. Coward. Why would you do that?
Yeah, and Opep Liam just stops and seems to come back to Liam instead of that murder snake bravado. And oh, yeah, that's fair.
Um, Conchu, why don't you roll Divine the Past with Cold? It very much sounded like.
Yeah, that works for me. Okay, so that's a 9. Wait a second. No, I'm just gonna go with a 9.
Yeah.
Unless
Uh,
let's
I
see.
super believe in your ability to yell at me.
Well, you ooh, I don't know
well,
which of these I don't know which of these conditions would be the best one for me to take advantage of
yeah,
because they're
because
all very
just
good.
to lay it out there, on a 7 to 9, you're going to get to make choices on each other. If it
Sure.
bumps up to a 10 plus, then Conchu, you're definitely in control, and you're the one making the choice.
Let's
I
just leave
don't
it at
believe in
the
you at all.
yeah, let's just leave it at the 9. That way I get to answer a question too. Or whichever of the thing. Maybe Ryan can get a string on somebody. That would be a thing.
Uh,
Um,
all right, so on a 7 to 9, it's hard to say who came out on top. You and another character in the scene each choose one below. So Ryan, I'm going to make you choose first because Barry rolled the roll, so he gets the luxury of time.
I hate that it's still the let's make Ryan make all the choices first.
well,
And then talk
What
at
do
the
you mean
camera about how
still?
he's not
It's
making choices.
I
So
did
it's
make my
always.
cool.
choice. I did make my. I wanted to divine the past because I already knew what question I wanted. So it's okay if you want to. If you want to hang on, then that's okay.
I can go, but if you've got a question, I'm super curious what it is.
Uh, the
Barry,
question.
you're an enabler. This is shameful.
Well, give me the condition and prove it then. Um, the question that I have is, uh, when you first came to me, was it because Liam came to Conchu, or was it because Opep came to Conchu?
You're talking about rooftop?
Well, when our yeah, like before we, uh, yeah, no, yeah, no, it was exactly then.
Yeah, that was 100% Liam looking for Khonshu to talk through things. Opep doesn't fucking care about anybody unless he can eat them. So, yeah, all Liam there.
Okay.
Ryan, you have to make word sounds now.
I know, I just realized I was reading the entirely wrong move, and that's why the answers didn't make any sense to me. Um, reading comprehension. It's good, kids. I super want a string, and I want to give her a condition so she can get XP. but I also want to ask a question.
They're all good. They're all good. They're all
I
good
feel
questions.
good about that problem as a designer and as a game runner, I have to say.
I
You
know
have
I
to
like all of
choose.
them, but it's hard not to ask the question. But this is the only move that has a question fallout. So, yes, antagonist Patrick. I'm all for it all the time. He's probably gonna take it out on me somehow, but I'm cool with that too.
This time it is all my fault.
And now we see Conchi switch to the unicorn. I've bought enough time. I think my question is that what did that mean to you?
Ooh. Um,
Not that Liam is invested or anything, but I mean,
what did it mean to me that it was Liam and not Opep, or what did it mean
the
that
whole Christmas special, Liam came to find you, and then also there was, yeah,
moves triggered?
completely unnecessary rooftop sex, and yeah,
So,
the
is it also
entire
like
episode
a
there.
is it like a bit of a thing of why are you in this power couple? Is it the power or the couple?
I think it's a, like, almost defining the relationship sort of question where it's just like, was that a one-off thing, or does this mean something to you, or
Uh,
because he seemed to treat it like it was just kind of a one-off mistake, and you seem not to. So how invested are you?
apparently very, because here's the thing. Um, uh, Liam and Conchu are probably the only two people alive in the pantheon now who know what it's like to have divinity uh, uh, to have divinity foisted upon them in a way that they didn't expect. Um, Conchu and well, Susanna kind of rode backseat to Conchu initially, and Liam didn't make this choice for Opep to come into him, and so I think that there's a type of connection that like we're on the clock. I'm not going to make a connection like that with someone else in the next 6 to 12 months.
Or at least we can hope there's not a bunch of those in this next 6 to 12 months.
Right. So that's what it meant to me.
Nice. Um, so as we swirl from the two of you looking at each other into the next page, almost in the same positions, but one of you is a giant snake monster covered in blood. Um, the other's still Khonshu. Uh, I think Oz is in the background of this very intense shot between the two of you and just rolling his eyes, going, fucking again. Reaches up, snaps, and the you've been in like the eye of this hurricane around you that is going and whirling and being all supernatural. Um, but all that starts to break down as from both sides, Osiris, the god of the flood and the Nile, brings the river crashing through, devouring the hurricane because, man, this river's been around for a while and this hurricane's been here for like 5 minutes. Um, so I just really enjoyed the idea of the river eating the hurricane because why the fuck not? So as the water crashes in and washes all and sundry apart from each other, I want to know, Khonshu, what's the last thing that Apep sees of you?
I think the last thing that Opep sees of me is me reaching a hand out toward like the side of his head down like down his neck, uh, just reaching to make a connection, to have that touch, like before we're swept away by the waters.
And Apep, what's the last thing Khonshu sees of you?
Still in darkest self, so totally sort of reflexive Yeah, his bared teeth, like, were preparing to strike on this thing reaching for it, even though Kanju is trying to turn on the murder snake.
Nice. So, water everywhere, all get washed apart. And then here's where we have like our splash page, our intro to the session. It's one of those TV episodes where it's been going for like 20 minutes before they show the opening titles. You're like, wait, fuck, that didn't happen already? Man, this is weird. Why is that lost symbol showing up now? This is like 45 minutes into the episode. Okay, here we go. um, so to try and be as brief as possible in the recap of what's happened, it's been about 6 months since the end of the last series, where Magdalena had her god ripped out of her, where Liam bet his god on the whole process, where a lot of weird timey-wimey stuff happened. And just to touch on it again, when Angus and Pluto were super in loves forever. Um, in the intervening 6 months, Liam the Human found Apep, and they became best murder buddies ever. Liam and Conchu started sleeping together, being power couple of the year all over the interwebs. Let's see, Oz flirted with Janus. Oz flirted with Apollo, Dia, the reporter. Oz flirted with about everyone before we started sort of picking up that Oz is not really flirting. He's just sort of hapless and doesn't really understand feelings or relationships exactly. I shouldn't say feelings, but is very unsure about his sexuality or if he wants to go there. We had several new gods show up. Let's see. There we go. We had Zolotl of the Suntheon show up. He's on the NPCs and Places tabs. He's the actual worst. We've had Mithra show up in the Suntheon, and we will probably, maybe, definitely see more of her this episode. We also had a mysterious and weirdly bemakeuped figure show up, Baron Criminal, who sort of worked in the backgrounds of things, and we thought maybe at first they were part of the Deatheon, the Nightheon, the Nyxtheon. But we actually found out, or had rumors, or had reason to believe that Enma, one true Enma, actually awakened another god. That can't be true. It must have been a lie or a one-off fluke. It will definitely never happen again. That would be totally unreasonable. It's not like Enma's been trying to build a pantheon of her own over off on the side away from everyone else, because they're all stupid poopy heads. So we've had that happen. We've also seen visions and evidence of Baron Criminal, that very same person, going off and killing Lakshmi by tying him to a giant roulette wheel and beheading him in the middle of Trafalgar Square. We've also seen evidence that Baron Criminal went off and dug up the corpses of Catherine Vesta and the fake corpse of Eris, and took dead Catherine's head and did not take fake Eris's head. And then we also saw visions of Enma and Baron Criminal working together to carve mystic symbols in the skulls that they had cleaned off, and now they were just clean skulls of these people, off in some weird, shadowy, enigmatic place. I've already talked to Alex about this, but we'll discover how much of that was true, how much of that was twisted visions, how much of that was misinterpretations. Magdalena came back last time as Tezcatlipoca. Tezcatlipoca. There we go. Whew. I only had like 5 minutes to learn that one last time. It's still fresh. Um, showed up, got into a lot of sads, and then a lot of screams, and then a lot of arguments. Saved Father Richards from an attack by another Suntheon member. Then, tore up Father Richards' church, stole his godhood in a horribly painful scene. And then there was eating and snakes and stuff, like we just talked about. So that's a lot of what's going on. Lakshmi's dead. Anything else on there we should note? Now Magdalena is dead. Baron Criminal's been in that spot. Tezcat the Poco is in that spot. Who knows what's going on? Oh, there was also indications that Baron Criminal was actually Keep It Pythia. That Enma had, rather than risking being usurped again, had awakened Keep It Pythia in some other role. So I have talked like so much so far, you guys. I want to hear about the changes that you've made. I want to hear about these new characters or these new takes on your characters. So before we get back to the murderous intentions of Enma, Lauren, why don't you tell us who we're seeing tonight?
Yeah, well, I feel it's appropriate to bring back a tier for a session here. I think like I'm kind of digging the idea of this being like alt, like inverse tier to some extent. Mostly I just was jigging like the Age of Ads, Sufjan Stevens like imagery where it was very not, it was a shift from like indie folk to like he still has a banjo to like sort of black neon, I get a little that sort of like black clothing with neon lines and stripes at angles, kind of like think like Woden, but if Woden were cool and not a shithead. That kind of like aesthetic. And I think like this and I think this tier still has like wings, but they're like I think black wings with like neon feathers, like sort of orange and yellow and teal, like neon feathers sort of like draped in there. And I think much to like Tyr the god, I think has like a one prosthetic like neon arm, like that's really constructed out of what appears to be like neon light, neon sunlight. And I think that's what Tyr looks like. I had here Tyr's purviews being justice. His original purviews were justice, guardianship, and dove. But I kind of like the idea if Enma has awoken Tyr, if Enma picks a purview for Tyr. So if you would like to pick a purview for Tyr, Alex, you're more than welcome to. I have currently justice and death. So like you're welcome to pick a third one.
I mean, I appreciate the gesture, but I don't know much about Tyr.
Oh, no problem then.
The deity.
I have a backup, which is Aspire. So like
you can pick something and then say you can pick something and then say I chose that.
Yeah, how do you feel about fire? Oh, the neon, the purple neon. I like that a lot actually. Neon purview. In all caps. Yeah. Thank you.
That is something I can legit see Enma throwing into whatever you're doing.
Yeah. Otherwise, Tyr is more or less the same. He still has the same morals that he holds himself to, which are people shouldn't lie, hurt others, or be selfish. But I think now it's going to have like a bit of a darker tilt on it, since I feel like this incarnation, so much has happened, so much is fucked. Like this feels very like the darker side of the unicorn.
And
kind of
I love that we just lost a prophetic unicorn, so of course we have to come back in with a new prophetic unicorn that's beautiful.
Yeah, totes.
So I don't want to get too far into the weeds here, but Christopher, who was Angus, this is not Christopher, right?
Yeah, I think this is just a whole like Enma comes swanning in with a new god. New god.
is Christopher Angus just like off screen, or is something epilogue-y final happened to him, or you don't know?
Yeah, I'm fine if he's off screen or like in the background. If you want to like bring in Angus at some point, you can do that, Patrick. I bequeath Angus to you.
Okay, but he's still around for the moment.
Yeah, we can see that.
Cool,
yeah,
cool.
for sure.
Then I just looked through, and you've got the unicorny moves, you've got the believe, you've got prophecies. I feel like I understand all of that. Anything more about Tyr?
I think that's it. I'm keen to get Indy's sad doc.
Cool. Well, Alex, why don't you tell us what's been going on with your character?
Well, Inma has gotten a fantastic upgrade from Vila to Vampire. Yeah. The applause is much appreciated. So yeah, I took all of the creepy controlling moves, like hypnotic and eating people. Gonna be fun.
Okay. Did you choose to keep any Vila moves?
I did. I kept unfriended ? Because I just love that move so much. I'm never gonna use it, but I just like having it there.
It's real good. Got hunger. Marked for the hunt. Interesting.
Yeah.
Which would mean that you'd have to feed on someone carefully and without killing them, so that'll be new.
I mean, I figured if I ever do that, like, just as a 1 in 100 chance, if it ever does happen.
All right. And has your look or aesthetic or musical touchstones changed at all in this new playbook?
Oh, look, you better believe. It's like, it used to be so like bright and happy and shiny, and now it's like all organs and graveyards. Like the musical kind, but also the blood kind. Why not both?
Nice. So much collar.
All of the color and all of the frills. It's like you can't actually see the neck for all of the frills coming out of the shirt.
Candelabras.
Candelabras always.
Extraneous pianos.
Oh yeah. And like this wafting of smoke. Like you'd think there was a smoke machine hidden under all those frills. And just like faint piano music wherever Emma walks.
Nice. So, I mean, I have to ask. I am obviously a huge fan of Enma. Like, me and Enma were like that. I totally believe he wouldn't just like blow me up on sight or anything. But like, totally non-judgmentally, there have been a lot of wild rumors flowing around about Enma. Like Enma creating new gods, Enma hunting down people from their own pantheon, Enma performing necromancy on the skulls of their enemies. Like, talk to me. Is any of that true? What's going on with Enma?
No, none of that, unfortunately, is true because Enma's gone way beyond that.
All right, what's that mean?
Those are just stepping stones on the plans Enma has laid out. Like, you are not going to believe what's coming next.
Ah, so not a denial of responsibility, just saying that those aren't really a big deal. Just you wait.
Oh, yeah. Of course, I did all of them, you know. Not going to deny that.
Nice. I don't know. Do you have any idea as to a do you have any idea as to like a plan or a place you might be going collecting these skulls? Or is it like a master plan that we're going to have to sit back and wait to see unfurl?
Well, I mean, I don't want to give away like the answers too soon, but the two things we know are you need skulls to take down a rival pantheon, and Ra has been picking fights with me. So
true. So after skulls, what's next for you? Cool. So, like, it's totally true. We should definitely believe that you're the one that awakened Tyr. You're the one that went out there and found someone who was like, bam, you're God now.
Oh, yeah. Gotta have allies, right? I mean,
Enma
minions.
is
I didn't say allies. Shut up.
Enma is amazing, y'all. This is unexpected. Okay. So we've got the two of you. We've got sort of a relationship there. I'm curious to see something between the two of you. How long has it been since is it Josiah? Is that it? Josiah.
Yeah, just saying.
How long has it been since Josiah was incarnated, Lauren?
Oh gosh. Well, I have a question for Enma, which is like, I don't know, is this like you just conjured Tyr from like another, like from a timey-wimey portal, or like did you ascend someone, or like what did you do?
What do you want to have happened?
Oh. Oh, that is a good question. I kind of like the you're constructing your own pantheon, and Enma has a bunch of like other Enmas are potentially. I'm keen for a portal like summoned kind of immaculate. Oh yeah, I mean it's Christmas time, right? Like immaculate, like the immaculate god. not ascended but created.
Interesting. So is this a? Do you mind if I take over and give a little description here?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So sort of what I see is like Enma reaching into some sort of crazy, it must be like bats and skulls and black candles, necromancy, this crazy like portal through time, mirror through time. And we see like a past pantheon. I think we seem to always have visions to the 20s pantheon, but I think we've had we've had zombies from the 20s pantheon here. And I think there was a tier in that pantheon, and in the sort of side issues and things that we haven't covered, we'd seen references to or scenes of the tier of that pantheon just dying mysteriously. And I think here we're finally like 30 issues later getting the big reveal and sort of, oh my god, that's what happened, of Enma just reached through and yanked his god out through his nose and put it in someone else here in 2018. And Tyr just like melted and fell apart in the process back in the 20s. So this is I sort of like the idea of like, if you want to play with any of this, a god out of time or a god that might be mad at Enma, but a person of this era and very much like feel how you feel about Enma.
I love it. Yeah, I think like I mean, we could always divine the past if we wanted to like do a bit of that, Enma.
Cool.
Heck, I'm down.
So yeah, do y'all want to see a little scene of the two of you?
Yeah, totes.
Is it that moment?
Ooh. Yeah, that sounds cool. You've set us up so well for like cool, creepy, like incarnation scene. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so Lauren, you suggested the divine the past, so give us a little visual, like what is Tyr in his like "Voomp, I've been incarnated" landing zone look like?
Oh yeah. Well, I feel like it's very much we see Tyr looking quite small and like hunched over, almost like egg, like like a sort of like hugging his knees and that kind of thing, with like these very matted, like sort of wet black wings stuck to his body, and like I probably went with blood and goop. And we sort of see him rise like one spine vertebrae at a time and like unfurl these like black wings, because of course Tyr from the past had like fake angel wings that like were part of his costume that kind of like took on flying qualities and shared feathers everywhere, but this is very much like angel wings baked in like into someone's like back
Nice.
And he spreads them very high and wide, and then sort of like brings them down, and probably covers his modesty for this PG-13 comic, you know, as Tyr is like facing Enma and like regards her. Yeah, I think that's the picture we get of like Tyr's awakening.
So, Enma, you're, I imagine, very much playing up your role of like creator god above you, grand stage judgment sort of thing. So I'm interested, whether it's the lie or the truth right now. What do you tell this newly awakened Tyr about your reason for incarnating him, why he's here, what his purpose is, that sort of thing? Oh no, buttons and hats.
It's very exciting to hear Alex.
Rats, they're onto my secret plans. Okay, so I think we see like the silhouetted by the light, like up high on a pedestal, looking down like the summoning chambers. And then Matt does like the flip out of the coat, and it's like, "Welcome, God of Justice. I've called you here because something is terribly wrong with this world. People have wronged me, and I need to see this done right. Lend me your power," with the outstretched hand.
And then we see Tyr like has one arm missing, but like takes your arm and says, "Let me just pull your sheet." Like, Enma, I know what it's like to have been wronged and to have one's morals cast askew. And I've had visions and prophecies of where this pantheon is headed, and it saddens me more than anything to see such light and beauty and what could have been cast away for chaos and death, needless death. And I would stand with you to see that undone, to see it put right, to see it put to rest. They like lifts like a differential chin up. We get like that sort of candlelit glow like against like Tyr's freshly like incarnated face, against these like very black wings.
Nice. So I'm curious to see a Divine the Past roll here, but given your sort of response and speech there, like, how do you think you're approaching this scene? What stat?
I almost feel like it's dark or cold. Maybe.
Interesting. I could see dark. You very much leaning into the fate and prophecy and purpose of this.
Yeah. So I'm totally cold. So roll with dark and make the worst.
Cool. How's this Tyr at dark?
Tyr is terrible at dark.
Nice.
Still opening up roll for your body. I have a -1 in dark, so this is gonna go splendidly. Rolls. What color dice? I will roll some. Turquoise dice. Yeah. Ooh, I got a 3.
Nice. So perhaps appropriately, Enma, you are definitely the one coming out here on top. So I think give us a little lordly response to Tyr kneeling at your feet, and then give us your choice off of the Divine the Past move.
Oh. Enma gives like a solemn nod. It's like, "I am truly glad that you can see what I mean. There are so many things that we need to change. Will you help me? And I want to ask a question that you have to answer truthfully now. How far will you go for the cause?
Ooh, good question.
Before you answer that, Lauren, I'd like to know, because we didn't stop on this part of the unicorn, what does Tyr believe people should not do?
Ooh. I'm trying to think what new Tyr would think. I almost feel like hurting others needs to change. Like, ooh. I think people shouldn't oh, I'm trying to find a good way of saying, like, you know, I like having selfish still. I like the idea of yeah, I need to change hurt others. I think lies is still a good one as well. If anyone's got a good suggestion for like this, oh, like yeah, make puns. Oh shoot, I can think about that if you want and come back to me. I can have a think over the break, maybe.
Yeah. But you're taking out the violence thing. You're keeping lie and people should never be selfish.
Yeah,
So
I feel like hurting people is going to happen.
If you're
Yeah,
down for the like in the warping
Oh, yeah.
the Tears incarnation, you could have betray others.
Oh yeah, actually, I was thinking about betrayal. Yeah, betrayal is good. Betray others. Yeah, thank you.
oh, people should be loyal. People should follow the commands of their higher ups.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you, Alex. You're the best.
Nice. Okay, so the question was, how far would
How
you
we go
go?
was.
Do you want to answer now, or do you want to answer after the break? Because we're about to take a break.
I think Tyr says I would let my body burn before I saw this pantheon lost to the chaos it has spun itself into.
Nice. I think that's beautiful and a nice cut line.
Yay!
So we're gonna go ahead and take a break. We'll do 10 minutes, so we'll come back 7 after the hour. Here's a song. Here I'm another song. Our theme tonight is colors, apparently. So y'all have fun. We'll be back.
That video rules.
No, I love that.
Ryan, it is very vaporwave. My internet's broken, and it is awesome.
Welcome back. All right, so we returned. We're in the present day. Things are going. Things are happening. So I'll spare Ryan once ever from starting. Be afraid. Be very afraid for the future. What does this mean? What am I doing? Am I setting you up for something even worse? Oh my god. We'll start with Barry. Khonshu, what do you see for Khonshu? Where are you? Do you want to be in a scene with one or any of the others? Talk to me.
Oh, I am going to stand by my note of, oh God, I am scared of having scenes with Enma. But I think that I might be one of the few people that has not had the opportunity to wrong Enma. Question mark? That's a thing.
Sounds like an unticked box.
Yeah. So that could certainly be a thing. Tier, I don't know if I quite have a beat on. Oh, can I ask a really silly question?
Yeah.
Does Tier get backstory?
Oh, you're not coming in with an existing character. Yeah, sorry. Enma got to keep Zer strings, but you've moved away from Angus, so hit backstory real quick.
Oh yeah. Shoot. Does someone have the Unicorn playbook handy?
Oh, maybe still.
I found the drive.
Hey. The unicorn, your backstory. Someone wants to take something from you. Ask them what it is, and then you gain a string on each other. So, Lauren, who is the someone?
Well, I mean, it's appropriate. I mean, Khonshu's trying to take Apip from Tyr. Not that Apip is a thing. Apip is a person with agency.
Well, Khonshu.
In my defense, I didn't even know that you existed until just now.
And Khonshu, you get to choose what it is you're trying to take from Tyr there. So we've got a good suggestion, but what do you feel what's going on here?
Let me look at Tyr's purviews again here. Does it have to be a tangible thing? Does it have to be an object or
no?
Concepts work here too.
If you want to fight over me, I'm okay with being objectified.
No.
You could want to steal Tyr's style, like Lay it out there.
He was my man's first, and if you want him, come and claim him. So that's a whole separate problem. I think what I'm
Consider
It
and
would be-
ponder, and
Yeah.
we'll hit the second one.
it would
And
be
at least get that on the table.
well the thing that I was thinking was Tyr's was possibly Tyr's loyalty. Because like if Edma's just going to keep starting up franchises, I don't know how bad an idea it is to try and convince people away from Edma. And so that's a potential way to go.
Ooh.
Okay. So you gain strings on each other, and you want to stop Inma's advance, and you want to take this new asset away from her.
Maybe that sounds like a thing.
Lauren,
sounds
how's that
cool.
sound?
Yeah, I think I'm good with being objectified between Enma and Khonshu. No, that sounds good. I think loyalty is a neat one to play with in this game, particularly because my moral is about betraying people. So that is going to be neat, and also like how 10 seconds ago Barry was like, I don't think I wronged Enma, and then cut to like now we're
And I love this dichotomy of like both of you just want Tyr to follow you with his whole heart and soul. Like that's all you want.
That's all you want. Yeah. NBD.
Okay. Other backstory is someone's in love with you and has told you about their feelings. Gain 2 strings on them.
Oh gosh. Is it too easy to say this is like a hangover from the 1920s pantheon? Like, this is the one memory that I have retained kind of from that period, which is like the close connection I had with Apep in that 1920s time.
Apep's totally in love with you, regardless of whether or not Liam is, I guess. Although apparently Liam is on some degree. I don't know. You're hot and neon. Liam's
Okay.
apparently fickle and terrible.
So Ryan, are you cool with exploring this one?
I'm fine with that, although I've died at Alex's. Was it Nick's?
Oh my god.
So yeah,
I mean,
if we're
Nick's is dead, so I call dibs.
dead forever, definitely never coming back. So yeah, if we're going with that, so Ryan, you told Tyr about your feelings, but was it Liam? Was it Apep? Was it Liam, but he lied and said it was Apep?
I don't know, Lauren, what do you find more interesting, if it's just a holdover from the 1920s, or if it's current Liam?
Yeah, was this...
I mean, how badly do you want to break into the power couple?
You know, this could be like unexpected emotions that Tyr, or that Apep like decided to say to Tyr for some reason, or maybe these are just words that came out of Liam's mouth and he doesn't even know why.
Yeah, I'm totally cool. Actually, I'm really cool with it being present day and having that be like a scene that happened in the interest of time. We don't have to do the whole like, oh my god, like it's you, I remember, like sort of thing. Unless it's a scene we want to have. I'm cool if it's part of my backstory as well.
Nice,
I'm
but
down
y'all
for
have
it to
both
be
had the sort of reveal.
Yeah, I mean, like, Khonshu and I both get the being kind of just taken over by a god, but Apep and Tyr have history, and I mean,
Oh yeah,
it doesn't come around every pantheon.
that's electric.
I mean, it
yeah.
has so far for the last 2 pantheons, but you can't bet on it.
Oh, it is true that 1920s Apep Tyr from the flashback in the first series was amazing.
But I imagine if we had those in it, we would be very much to the effect of like sort of everything else like sort of goes like whoop whoop, like very quiet, and like we get that like lub dub of like Tyr's like awakening heart, like in this very neon black form, right? and then that like look of fire death in his face like softening when he sees Liam, and just feeling that like innate connection to like Apep, because like yeah, Apep and Tyr have formed like across pantheons in the past before, and like they're very much like a moth to a flame. They keep being drawn to each other, and sort of it being and then falling apart and like during like these cycles of 90 years kind of thing. So I feel like it would be very much like a
Law and chaos, opposites attract, and
yeah.
yeah, totally.
Nice. So yeah, that's out there. Apep, you said these things. But I mean, you're still totally with Khonshu. Like, we just got done talking about like how totally together and solid you are.
I mean, it's complicated when you reincarnate every 90 years. So.
Mm-hmm. It brings a new light to why you were so curious about like what all this meant to Khonshu. Like, how serious are you, Khonshu?
Which also brings a new light to that question, because that was totally a echo question from the first series. So, yay.
All right, we that was a cul-de-sac, and I forget how we got there exactly.
My backstory.
Backstory. But yeah, my real question is, though, did Lauren want to roll a gaze to the abyss on how well this turned out? Or do we just want to leave it in backstory?
Oh, good question. I'm fine to gaze into the abyss. It's not gonna go well. Because I have no dog.
I mean, not gaze into the abyss, the divine the past.
Oh, divine the past.
The weird darkety move in the new moves.
We can. Oh, yeah, actually, that's a cool idea. We can quickly do that if you like. Yeah. Oh, does this happen in? Oh, I don't know. Does Liam still have the creepy pomegranate grove in the underground?
Yeah, but it's kind of busted because he fell through his. Well, the creepy pomegranate grove still exists, but the perfect lighting in his room is a little broken because he fell through it. Since the underground doesn't bend to his whims anymore, since he's no longer the lord of everything underground, he's just a murder snake.
Yeah, his big underground room has all of these pomegranate trees growing down from the ceiling and glowing for light. Horror granite, sorry.
There's pomegranates all over the place. You should probably clean it up.
I kind of like the idea of if this is a place that Liam / Apep returns to, like he comes into that space and finds Tyr like with that broken light like sort of coming down onto him from like above. It's this like grove of pomegranate trees, so like him holding a pomegranate with like the perfect light coming into like what was once a mope cave and is now like an open air mope cave, I suppose. And like not turning around but hearing like Liam Apep approach and like saying something to the effect of like oh, I had a feeling that if I were to seek out the darkest spaces of London, I would find you, but it seems a lot has changed since then. And sort of like lifts his head to the light to sort of indicate like, oh, like it's a kind of trying to joke of it because you're not someone who enjoys a lot of light or trees. You're a snake of mope caves on the beach and fun memories.
Is this before the whole Surya getting punched into Apep sort of thing? I think it's probably still when he's only just Apep. I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's a giant snake.
Nah, let's make this as complicated as possible.
Oh, I see.
I think there's definitely a sun god bouncing around in your tummy dissolving.
Yeah, it's okay. Extra super eclipse aspect, because for a moment, one bright shining moment, he ate the sun. But it can't ever last because Apep can never have solid victories.
And there are like a half dozen other suns out there.
There's so many suns to eat.
Probably give you indigestion.
I know. But you gotta eat the sun. It's just a thing. and I think, you see, Apep sort of lower the mirror shades, and there's the full-on snake eyes, and it's like, Tyr?
I think we see Tyr like bite into again. But I'm obsessed with death pomegranates. What's wrong with me? Like yeah, much like bite into one of these like pomegranates, and we get like the like sort of red juice like dripping down maybe his cheek, which is also a bit reminiscent of our new like vampire like Enma, right? A bit vampiric, a bit dark. And I would like to roll whatever this book is called, Divine the Past.
Divine the Past. Yeah. That could be hot. You're approaching it with. There's horror granite, so it could be dark. But what do you feel?
I was angling for hot.
You definitely had your
or-
mood lighting and your pose down, so I'm into it.
Or just
Definitely
with
seemed
horror
like it
granite.
turned someone on.
What feels more appropriate? I guess the Divine the Past. Hang on, I get the wrong move. Yeah. What do you feel, Ryan?
It seems hot to me, but I mean, I'm not gonna fight you on that.
And in terms of turn someone on versus Divine the Past.
No, I mean, you could divine the past with hot, and that's like a past turn someone on. It works. I'm okay with it.
Excellent. Okay, sweet. Let's do a hot Divine the Past. We roll these dice of betrayal. Ooh, I got a 12.
Wow. So the scene definitely goes your way, Tyr. You choose one of the options below.
Oh, I wanted to hit a 7 to 9 because I wanted Javier to have a question in return. I disbelieve in you. Yeah, well, I think like fictionally, like we definitely see like Tyr take a bite from this pomegranate and then sort of like, oh, it's probably in his neon arm, right? Like the neon light arm that he was gifted to him from Enma, I guess. And sort of lets that fall to the ground as like he turns and like we get then like he spreads his dark wings again, I think. Like we get that silhouetted against like the light that's filtering into the space against the sort of canopy of horror granite trees. And I think he it looks very like what's the right word? Like sinister in a way. But then we get a close up of like Tyr's face and it's just like soft with like these very warm eyes as he like smiles at Liam / Apip and says like it's good to see you again. It's been far too long.
That was amazing. I'm sorry. I'm still trying to recover from the nonchalant mic drop of the neon light arm that Enma gave me.
It's just quietly NBT.
That's amazing.
And
Ooh, sorry, just had to throw that in there.
Yeah, I'm glad you liked it. I kind of want to ask. Yeah, I'll ask this question. So I think the question that Tyr has anyway is like, can we begin to rekindle what we have when so much has changed?
So Apep is uniquely single-minded among mythological figures. Really only ever has one goal. And on some level, a secondary goal is always that on some level he's always going to be in love with Tyr. That's kind of imprinted upon the mythological bit, I think. So it's possible.
Nope, wrong way. There I am. Hey. That was adorable sad. Okay, this has all got like real emotiony and weepy and feelsy, and nostalgic. And Enma, I need you to save us. So, what's up, Emma? What's happening?
See, I've got this list, and I'm checking it twice. And
fucking coming to town.
Totally. And I think Barry jumped to the top of it with that casual, I'm trying to take you down.
I'm not sure that was the perfect gist of it, but yes,
That's what I heard.
that makes sense.
So yeah, so Khonshu has caught your eye. What are you doing? Like, what do we see of you in your ire or your preparations, or is it like smash cut to punching Khonshu?
Sorry, just laughing at Satan Claus. So good. Yeah, I think we see like Enma like sitting up in her lair, like swirling a glass of red liquid, and we'll never know what it is. It's vague liquid, and like someone whispers in Enma's ear that about like Khonshu working against Enma's plans, and just like this look of rage, and then like a smash cut to wherever Khonshu is, Enma hitting something really loudly, and just like glaring at them.
Khonshu, where does Enma bust in on you?
I should really have an answer for that. I'm gonna look at our places real quick. I think that after having been there for the destruction of St. Paul's Cathedral, I think that there have probably been like a lot of people who are not hip to the newest faiths in London, who have probably who have probably made their way here just out of disbelief. And I think that like having been there at the time that it was destroyed, and having seen what is happening with the pantheons when we were fighting, and especially having seen what happened to Father Richards, there are going to be a lot of people with a spiritual need, and like there is some of that that I can provide. There are there might be people who have come from a long way, and Khonshu can give like a blessing over their travels to get there. So
am I hearing that Enma busted in on a performance of yours?
We could do it as a performance. That would possibly make sense. Performing in the performing down by the wreckage of St. Paul's Cathedral.
So yeah, Enma, you've come busting up, saying your piece, and smashing your fist into a wall, which is one of these. It's one of the buildings that was next to St. Paul's that definitely got bowled over by the hurricane that sat there for like 6 hours straight out of nowhere. But on this like broken piece of wall, there's been postered up like this whole row of sort of concert poster style these posters that are like golden and orange and bright colors. It's very sort of like geometric mosaic looking. And you see in the center a picture of Mithra, who is on the NPC sheet. And it's her face, and she's standing there in this sort of like A-line dress that's very much like that picture there, but the center of her is a sun, and the dress is made out of these rays that are coming out of the sun. And she also has two little suns in either hand, which are spilling down rays of light on all sorts of little people and concert goers down below her. And I think there's a big like translucent image blown up of Ra's face behind her with glowing eyes, and it has today's date, the winter solstice. By the way, last time I said that we had moved forward into spring, and that was totally dumb because we set this whole thing up around Mithra and the solstice and everything. So, retcon. Yeah, today on the winter solstice, it's got a tagline for it says up at the top, hashtag of the Pantheon, and it says the Mithraeum launches 12 whatever the fuck today is. I'm bad at dates and my brain are dead, y'all. 12/21/18. And so, color, take it for what you will. Conchu, she just busted up and yelled at you and punched a wall.
Do we want to put a performance on the table, or is that, or what do you think?
Do you have a message that you'd be trying to get across to these people?
So these are people that are coming to the ruins of St. Paul.
Mm-hmm.
I think the message is that I think the message is that this all happened because like Father Richards was telling them one thing and doing another. Like you don't go to St. Paul's Cathedral to worship Father Richards, as far as I understand. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. And so I think that what I'm trying to put forth is like where Barry's coming from is that we helped talk we helped talk Magdalena into like divesting herself of Huitzilopochtli, and like I wanted to try and help like defuse the situation with Magdalena and Father Richards. I failed at that, but what I can try and do is kind of try and publicly put out there that like there's no reason why both of these why all of the divinity that is happening can't exist. There's no reason for that. Like we can I know that you at St. Paul's have one thing, but we have evidence for another, and there's no reason why like you can't believe in all of us.
So sort of an everything is real, nothing doesn't exist sort of approach.
Yeah. I want to try and mediate this whole situation.
Then yeah, why don't you roll with dark?
Cool. That's a 5.
Nice.
I super believe in you though if you want it. Unless you want the XP.
Do you?
I might still fail anyway.
I don't know, Liam. You tell me if you believe in me.
Ooh, wow. Things is getting cold up in here.
Wow, that's harsh. I mean,
well,
that I'm invested or anything.
Just saying. If you believe in me, show me.
Fuck you. I believe in you. Just watch me.
I love you, Ryan.
That's a 9, so it bumps up 1 level of success.
Does it have any other meaning for you there, Opep?
I mean,
Is there any more text to the move?
Well, the move as it is just on a 7 to 9, the roll changes from a 7 to 9 to a 10, or from a miss to a 7. When time slows and fate hangs in the balance, believing in someone can be enough. Because Khonshu's the adult of all of us, and I believe in her ability to get things done.
Ooh.
Wow, title passing, nice.
Wow, Patrick, this is a little bit late to maybe drop this, and it's not going to affect the die roll, but I want it to take effect. I have a condition called "I'm right," and I want this. I don't know if this embodies that condition enough, but I'd like it to alter my sense of self.
No, I think that's cool. It's you're getting out there. So, I mean, objectively, sort of what's happening here is these people are grieving and having a crisis of faith here with the weird things in their lives. And you're basically taking that doubt and misconception to be like, hey, guys, all your crap was wrong. Listen to me.
It's the nicest all your crap was wrong, though, because just look at all this other crap also.
So yeah, that bumps up to a 7 to 9.
Yes.
Which no, God damn it! Stop doing that. Leave it
wait.
alone. What's happening?
Does it count as defending Khonshu if I'm believing in Khonshu?
Enma just busted in on Khonshu's performance, so I'm going to go out on a limb and say yes.
In that case, that makes it a 10, because I have a +1 defending Khonshu. So Khonshu's roll is actually a 10 plus.
Wow. So on a hit, the audience is changed by your performance, gaining you a string on the person most affected. Who do you think that is?
I would.
Enma's definitely a target, or you could name someone else as being in the crowd.
Well, when I was initially pitching this, I was like, "Ooh, this would be." I was initially thinking of the message as being like about the Deathion and the Suntheon, but I mean, Enma is a whole other Enma's a whole other kind of trouble, and I think that I would like a string answer.
Okay. On a 10 up, someone takes your message to an unexpected extreme. Tell us who and how. And I mean, this could just be looking into the future of some random person that's in the crowd here. Who knows? Maybe it's Ollie.
I don't know enough about Mithras to know whether she might take it too far. Whether she would have, I don't know that she would have necessarily been in attendance, but like but with her big reveal coming up in the immediacy of the solstice, that seems like a very dangerous way to go for me. So,
yeah, I'm into that.
Okay,
you want to do that?
Yeah.
So you're up there giving your performance. Enma busts in, gives dramatic Enma entrance, punches a wall. We spend way too long of a camera shot looking at the posters that she just punched. Like, give the audience long enough to read, which is a while on screen. It's ridiculous. Sorry. And everybody's sort of thrown off kilter, and there's this moment of silence of everybody's like, wait, what's happening? When the entire crowd, everyone, including the two of you, all of their phones will start beeping as they're starting to glow golden, and an app is downloading itself on all of them. It says #of-the-Pantheon downloading, and you'll hear sort of a couple of musical chimes, and you'll hear the voice of Mithra, whether you recognize it or not, saying, "Welcome to the Pantheon. The Mithraeum is here, and the time for London's divinity has come." So, Enma, what do you do there?
I mean, I have bigger fish to fry, so I think Inma just like throws the phone away and
Nice.
just keeps walking, like eyes locked with Conchu, just walking straight at Conchu.
So what's your purpose here? You walking up to punch her? You walking up to yell at her more?
Can I have a nice, civilized discussion? Ignore the clenched fists.
Okay, gonna walk up and just very civilly lay out what may be a difference in points of view, but we're all adults and we can just talk about it. So what's the opening part of your very reasonable argument sound like?
Oh, I think it's very like looking down my nose at you, like, what do you think you're doing?
What I think I'm doing is not just showing up at performances and murdering whoever it is that that I choose to, for whatever reason that I choose to. You're
Oh, I should give
inscrutable.
it a try. It's very pleasurable. But I meant, what are you doing with Tia?
What are you doing with Tyr? Why did you decide to bring another god into this place? What are you doing except bringing pain and misery?
I mean, why not? I needed more followers. I figured I'd make one.
Really working the
We're here to end
working
this.
the hard way, one at a time, huh?
You trying to shuts her down there? I think
Yeah.
digging at her followers,
Yes.
her followers is definitely a way to get there.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
All right, then why don't you roll with cold?
I'm so bad at cold. I keep rolling with cold. This is the worst idea. Oh, I didn't take my XP last time because I rolled a thing.
Oh yes, sorry.
Oh,
When
but
you fail, you should take
I don't know how that works because I rolled the 3, but then Ryan believed in me and it was wonderful.
then no XP.
Okay, cool. Then I will roll with cold.
You have to stay strong in order to keep your XP. You have to
Ooh,
not
and
give
that
it
is a
unicorn
7.
mutations.
That is a 7.
Ooh.
So
So Enma's gonna get to come back with a condition, but first, Khonshu, why don't you make a choice there?
do you have no strings on me? I'll take a string on you. That sounds good.
Okay. And Enma, she's like, I don't know, continuing to talk and exist and argue in front of you. What do you come back with? What condition do you lay on her?
Oh, snap, and you're hollow. So this is important. Let's go for... I don't know. Small fry sounds good.
And now I'll take my XP.
So I think we're going to cut away there. And Tyr, what do we see of Tyr? You've recently sworn yourself to Enma. We've seen into the not too distant past of you and Apep getting all eyesy with each other.
Yeah, if it's okay with Ryan, I almost like a continuation of that scene just to try and start some more drama. If it's cool with Ryan.
I'm into drama.
Okay. Same scene, new location. Ryan, where's this like exact same argument continuing on? Argument, seduction, whatever.
Argument? I mean, I don't think there's really any arguing going there. Um, I don't know. Probably still underground somewhere, but like in a slightly different location or something. What are you feeling, Laura? Do you want a certain backdrop? Does
Ooh.
it need to be more neon?
I mean, the worst choice would be, of course, in Angus's horror granite garden, just like digging salt into the wounds. But if you want to go for a more like beautiful or serene or meaningful to one of your choices, I could understand that too.
I love the idea of one neon because why not? But I think this is probably just like perhaps walking in some of like the underground. That I guess for some reason has like neon strips along the side, kind of like having that cyberpunk, like it's a cyberpunk like sewer corridor, of, like the underground of London where we're walking. Um, like basking
Cyberpunk
in
horror granites is a sentence. I mean, a phrase I never thought I would think in my
yes,
other bit.
yes. And I think like the I think it's Tyr and Oppet perhaps like maybe probably like ambling down this corridor. I think Tyr is saying something to the effect of like uh I think he's divulging like sort of his very recent past with Enma. And says like I wish I could say it was coincidence that meant that you and I could be together again, um, even if so much has changed. But I feel I would be being dishonest by omitting to tell you exactly how I came to be, which Enma summoned me here from a. I do not know quite from where, but I have memories of a time where you and I were closer still. But Enma too has changed. Enma too has become more consuming, more controlling, more fueled and focused on death and revenge. And I'm not quite sure what that looks like for the Pantheon for us. And it frightens me a bit to be so lost amongst all of this. I swore I would give myself to Enma for Enma's cause, and yet I find myself wondering if that's a good idea. And then very much looks to like Oppet with like a look of confirmation or clarification or hope.
Um, Apep, I'm gonna push on your ashamed and overly emotional conditions there, and offer you an XP if you just spill all of your part good and cannibalistically bad in all of this.
Yeah, so that's a thing. Apep is gonna spell everything like that. He wasn't Apep until a few months ago, and all the stuff went down, and like someone skinned and wore around his old boyfriend, and then he ate her, and he's with Khonshu now, and things are kind of complicated. But also, it's Tears back, and there's a lot going on here. And also, wait, this isn't even Enma. This is like Enma's fan who ascended to believing that Z is Enma, and there are so many layers here. It's so weird. And also, where did you come from, even?
And I
And
think
hold
yeah.
on, before we get Tier's response, just because this occurred to me in the middle here, and I love the twist on this. We're gonna make this even twistier with Ryan. I think this triggers the big reveal.
Oh my god! um,
because I think this is definitely revealing your true form, your true monstrousness to someone that didn't know it before.
Revealing that I'm not a murder snake all the way down.
But that you definitely have murder snaked people.
True.
Tyr, go ahead and take a string on Apep. And then in your response here, you can decide whether you're going to accept him as he truly is and get XP, or whether you're going to reject everything he's revealed to you.
That's too much.
Oh, that is exactly the noise I was hoping for.
Oh my god. Oh my god. You're amazing, Patrick. So I think like Tyr, he is this end, like we get that very pregnant silence like in the underground, maybe like a bit of a rumble of like activity above as Tyr and Apep just kind of stare at each other for a moment. Tyr with that look of hope and optimism, and like Apep with that look of like confession and seeking something from Tyr. And I think Tyr, we hear Tyr like take a step forward. We get like that shot of his like sneaker, like his neon sneaker in a puddle that like ripples neon light, right? Like as he takes a step closer towards Apep. And I think he takes Apep's hand, if that's okay. And Vuku gives Apep like a very sincere look, and like I think Apep's wings even sort of like hover around the two of them sort of like a bit protectively. I think Tyr says, I don't know if you remember this, Apep, but I very much remember a time on a beach where you had been slain, lying in glitter blood, Ares' glitter blood, and saying to you that the world was a better place with you in it, and that we were lucky to have you, and that to live in existence without you would be such a loss. And that is a sentiment that I still retain in my soul, my very being. It's tattooed on my very essence. And things get complicated and things get messy. Relationships happen, things change, but know that at the end of all this, I love you, and I will always believe in you, no matter what happens between us or what you do or what happens in time.
I made such an unholy screech before I was attacked by unhelpful.
Sorry, I've been squealing here too.
I was still on the inside. Oh, is this kind of to turn someone on?
I mean, it sounds like it.
Yeah, give me a hit for the turn someone on, a bit more physical contact or an explicit sort of statement of emotion.
Oh, yeah. So I think we end on that, like, yeah, like no matter what, I love you and I will always believe in you. And I think like there's probably like yeah, like the wings sort of like maybe coming a bit closer, and there's like that sort of few inches from faces like shot of like Tyr and like Apep, and like bathing in this neon light in the underground.
Liam, your unicorn came back to find you.
Oh,
I stopped being a unicorn, and so the universe provided one.
I got a 5.
Nah, I super believe in your ability to turn me on, so I'm rolling even though it's not going to work. This is the universe you created. I got a 6.
Oh.
And there's no way I can add anything to it, so...
You don't have any strings?
I don't have a single string.
Wait, I have 2 on Apep, right?
Are you going to try to believe in my ability to believe in you? Are we
Yes.
going to break the game?
Can I do that? Oh yeah, I can I believe in your
Sure.
ability to believe in me.
Let's go uniception on this, but this is the absolute last layer.
Okay. I have 1 integrity, so I'll be rolling with a +1. I got an 8. So I can bump up your belief in you by 1.
Which bumps up your previous roll to a 7 to 9.
So everybody got 7 to 9. Is that where we're at?
Yeah, I think so. Got a 7 to 9. I get a 7 to 9. They can either give you a string or choose one of their actions. I give myself to you. I promise something I think you want, or I get embarrassed and act awkward.
Sorry, I'm still laughing too much to think about.
We did it.
Unicornception. This is everything I wanted from a Monsterhearts game. I just didn't know it until now. Yeah, so between like Liam and Opep and all of these layers going on, I think it's totally I give myself to you in whatever degree you feel like that's gonna be.
I just squealed as well.
Lauren, Ryan, are we moving into sex moves here?
Oh yeah. I almost like we get that visual in the comic book of like that wing coming like across both of their faces to give them privacy, right? It's like move into like sex moves if you want to trigger sex moves, right?
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Cool. Lauren, why don't you read off tiers?
I think I just lose all of my integrity immediately.
It's going for the full on sex option.
Yeah, I think yeah, unless it's somewhere chaste and intimate, and
unless you want it to be a chaste and intimate scene.
Yeah, I mean, I started with you for a
Liam
reason
is
there,
garbage.
Lauren.
Oh,
so...
I see.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I am good with. I mean, that's not weird as hell. Like having someone have their head lie on your lap in the underground basked in neon light.
Then I get a +1 to defending you and Khonshu. So
yes.
I kind of win on every level.
That's great. I can't wait for that. Yeah, I like that option.
This is such a betrayal. I can't believe you, Ryan.
You've been trying to dump me since we hooked up, okay?
I have not. I foreshadowed it. Come on.
So I think I am gonna call a reversal on your sex move there, Opep. And Kanchu, I think you can feel this connection being broken.
Son of a...
I think it's obviously happening when Enma's in your face. And as the two of you are... and as Opep and Tyr are having their chaste but emotionally devastating for certain things moment, you both of your phones are going to make that same chime. You'll see the same like app downloading itself on your phone, as whether you pay attention to them or not, we see on the panel the gold glow of your phone screens lighting up. And I think we're going to take another break here. I have one song.
I have a song.
I was going to say if someone else does, I don't have a second.
Awesome.
I went to.
All right. Start with
mine.
Right in there.
All of the links.
So we'll be back in 20 minutes after all. No, we'll be back at 11 after.
All right.
I mean, in that case, I could throw in extras, but no.
Alex, I have the best idea.
Oh, yeah?
I do. It has to do with betrayals and loyalties.
Sounds like it's right up my alley. I'll look forward to it.
Awesome.
Oh no, you found out my secret. All right. That was lovely. I still have
Sorry,
soundtrack
stuck
going in the background.
staring at Edma's song because just the title alone is, oh my goodness.
It is dangerous to look directly into that song.
All right. That was lovely and touching. Now back to the drama. Back up outside the roads of St. Paul's Cathedral. Where had we left the two of you?
We had just had we just had some words, and we were getting some garbage on our phone from the Suthion
Blah blah.
about
Who?
being
Whatever cares.
someone's of the Pantheon. Yeah, that is the oldest news. I think I like I see what Enma does with Zerphone, and I look at mine and I figure out like, oh god, and I get out of this thing because the thing that I need to do immediately is text Liam, where the fuck are you?
So can I angle in a second here so I can use one of my moves to be that as I have like tears, head in my lap, everything's super touchy. There's wonderful neon horror credits. It's the weirdest, hottest scene. Everything.
Mhm.
He's totally gonna do that. But I mean, I was with Eris until he died, and then Angus, and then Khonshu, and then I'm just I'm fucking trash, and I'm trying to angle into self-deprecating, where you either argue or let it slide. And either way, it's not good.
Is that a Sasquatch move?
It's a neighbor move.
Oh, neighbor move. Nice. So, and you're pointing this at Tyr, right?
Yeah, I'm pointing at Tyr.
So,
So, with my whole, I'm just constantly trying to fucking flirt my way through the Pantheon. I'm garbage. Do you argue and give me a string, or let it slide and shut me down?
Making so many noises off camera. Off mic. Sorry, I'm so like, holy shit, this is so amazing. I oh, I think like we see Tyr kind of like very much stroking his hands through Apep's hair and like down his cheeks, right? Like it's very soothing and comforting. As Apep is saying these things, like I was with all these people and like all this stuff, and yeah, and um, and I think Tyr. Oh, I think Tyr says like it's okay. I am someone who has spent a lot of time ruminating over the future. Just not a space that many people get to languor in or worry about. But, and I would implore that you do not do the same about the past, and that you remain in this present where we are together now, and know that you shouldn't be so hard on yourself. You should be kind and be gentle with the Apep of the present. For you are a beautiful soul. and you are worthy and deserving of so much. And I'll give you a string.
So you're arguing that I am trash and it's okay?
No, you're not trash. But like, you know, he also doesn't want to like deny your feelings about how you feel about what you've done. Just that you should be kind and you should.
I hear that you are trash, and I accept that.
I think it's more that she's saying she hears all of your actions and opinions, but she doesn't come to the same conclusion. She doesn't think that
Yes,
equals
yeah.
trash.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
I just
exactly.
that's totally not what Lamb's hearing because self-deprecating. But in the middle of this, there's text vibration thing, and Liam kind of checks his phone and just, and of course, right now, and I'm gonna pause and text back, Khonshu, that underground. Why?
Wow. Kachu, yeah. Do you got a dismissive, but you got a response? Who dis new phone?
I mean, he doesn't know why she'd be pissed about him not being there. Was she gonna do a thing? She didn't text him about plans.
So I will say to Enma, there are two things that seem to matter a lot to you: loyalty and betrayal. I think that might matter a lot to me too, and I will spend a string to ask you to come with me to confront someone who has betrayed me deeply.
So, Enma, would you take an XP to twist this confrontation onto perhaps another worthy target for the moment, at least?
I mean, I can understand what Khonshu has been saying about peace. I mean, I tried. I really did. I tried really hard. So I think we really align in a lot of ways. But, I wouldn't help just any random stranger. I might help a follower.
So you want me to what do you want? Tell me what you want.
Well, there's two things that are really important to me: loyalty and betrayal.
Oh boy.
So, I think if Khonshu's on the edge, you probably need a string in some way to push her over it. The easiest ways would be shut down or turn on. This sounds sort of like a turn on, but if you have something else that gets you strings.
Yes, I've had this idea for so long.
Uh-oh, what have I
It's
done?
finally time for fruition.
This is not my fault, guys. You can't blame me.
So I think, regardless of where Khonshu is standing, suddenly, out of nowhere, a wall appears behind her. And Inma walks up, slams a hand into the wall, like kind of pinning Khonshu to it. And says, like, leans in and whispers into the air, "I'll help you if you'll help me." Gives like a wink and pulls back.
That sounds like a turn on.
You trying to turn her on?
Oh yeah, totally.
All right. Roll with hot.
I think this is the first turn on Inma's ever rolled, which is why I've been waiting so long to use it. That is a 9.
All right. So on a 7 to 9, they can either give you a string or choose one of their actions.
Let's see. Promise something I think you want, or give you a string. I'll just give you the string. The mechanic of that works cleanly, I think. So
That's beautiful and touching. But, Enma, you're not just a god, you're not just a stolen god, you're a stolen god who's been cursed. And you have a hunger. And here was easy prey standing right in front of you. And you're just going to agree with it and go somewhere else? I'm pretty sure I need to keep your cool out of you.
I think you do. Oh, and I know just the thing that I'm afraid of.
Yeah?
I'm going to act just as impulsively as Ra chided me for last time we fought.
Yeah, I think we get like a golden toned flashback to Ra standing in front of you and just the dismissive eye rolling, how can you even sort of thing.
God fucking lose to Ra. That is a 9.
All right. So, finding my thing is would leave you vulnerable. Yeah, I'll tell you how it'll leave you vulnerable. It'll leave you hungry. And you're going to take a -1 ongoing to keep your cool.
I dig it. I think we see this like as Inma turns away, this like red glow in their eyes, this like pale look in their face.
All right. So mark that down, I guess, near your stats somewhere. And Khonshu, what does this exit look like? Like, where are you heading to?
We are off to the underground. I have a pretty good idea where to find Apep.
So you go over to sort of nod, maybe shake hands, get ready to go with Enma, and I don't know, maybe just part of your brain is listening for this sort of thing, because out of sort of the corner of your ear, you hear someone random in the crowd saying 3, and then someone right next to them saying 4. And as you grab Enma and the two of you disappear, there's these 4 people in the center of the crowd holding their phones that are suddenly surrounded in golden light shining up from their phones around them, reflecting in their eyes. And they grow sort of neon light wings out of their backs and take off flying.
Awesome.
Back in the underground. How are things going there? You were texting your girlfriend while your former, future, who knows what boyfriend is there in your lap. How are things going there, Apep?
I mean, she hasn't texted back, so I don't know.
So it's probably fine.
I mean, maybe everything has been really weird so far, so I'm pretty sure it's not fine. But then again, I was pretty sure that me just like noping out on her wasn't fine, and she was okay with it, kind of almost. I mean, she was mad, she got over it, so I have no idea how to read Khonshu right now.
That's interesting. Tyr, he's been staring at his phone for a long time. I mean, there was talk about emotions and feelings and past lives and fated loves and sidereal universes, and he's responding to a text.
Yeah, I think this is going to be. Okay, I have 2 thoughts. One of them is very cheesy, so I'll say that first. But I think like there's never a guarantee who will manifest like in each pantheon, and you never know when your last moment is like it will be your last moment with this person. And so I think like Tyr is just very happy just being with Apip, like regardless of what Apip is doing, because he feels very much like the other part of him is present now, and he feels like grounded and connected and right, even though things are fluctuating and change is a thing, and he doesn't quite know what's going on or what's happening or why he's here. But then like underneath that very like mellow warmth as he's like sort of like probably still stroking like Abip's cheeks as like Abip is texting as that unsettling feeling in the back of his head that this moment is worth cherishing because trouble is coming.
Oh my god, I've never heard a better setup for golden opportunity. As you say that, there's you'd talked before about the sort of rumblings of the underground. There has been, you notice that there's been a rumbling like going on under your feet, and it's like growing and it's getting louder, and like this is where were y'all again in this one?
I think
Just
it's not parts of this, like the classic London underground neon parts of the sewer.
That's right, neon tunnels. No, that totally makes sense. And it was one of those ones that like there aren't really tracks in the middle of it or anything, so it is surprising when a neon subway car lined in like blues and oranges and hot pinks, lights and flashers and sort of spinning things comes barreling through this tunnel, and you see a number of people inside, maybe about a dozen or so, that some of them are like leaning out the side and sort of screaming and like whooping sort of way. You see the golden glow of several of them holding cell phones. And I mean, you also take 2 harm as you have to dive out of the way of this thing coming through.
Except I have a
Oh,
+1 to defending tier, and I think as this thing comes screaming in, Opep just kind of automatically snakes out, only it's kind of like a glowing, almost like it hurts to look at sun ball sort of snake around tier to defend him from said harm. And Opep will take it himself. Neon murder snake that is the sun.
nice. Um, I like that. So, why don't
Which is
you?
totally gonna wreck their pictures, but also look awesome.
Why don't you roll and keep your cool, to see how that goes?
Fortunately, I'm pretty cold, so that's a 9. +1 to defend tier makes it a 10.
Wow. Okay, yeah. Describe how this goes. What happens to the drunk phone jerks in their neon phantom car?
I mean, as they're looking through their like viewfinders and everything, they are greeted with looking into not just the sun, but the sun like 20 feet away. And so it's kind of hard to see anything for a bit as they're busy seeing spots. Because there was like a couple deities that they were going to take pictures of and it was going to be rad until all of a sudden just it looks like it's kind of on fire, but not really. But also it's super bright and also it's super fast. It's kind of hard to gauge anything.
Um, yeah, it's oh wow. It's all bright and shiny and sort of wow in there. There are a couple of the passengers who come sort of like barreling out the side of the car, and they are surrounded in like neon Tron style armor. Uh, very very Woden aesthetic here. They have big, oversized, like Buster swords. One of them's got a spear for some reason. They come running at you to attack you, yelling about their awesome neon car, and like it's uh, tier, it's basically nothing for you to stop them, take them down, take them apart. But how do you deal with these people that are foolishly running at you, trying to wield neon against you?
Oh, that's a good question. I think
Final Fantasy hate love on the side.
I think I want to. Ooh. Oh yeah, I want to give a performance. And it's like, oh god damn it, I guess I'm feeling really cheesy today.
Love it.
Yeah, I want to give a performance. Let's check the move for giving a performance. Yes, I want to bare my godly soul in a performance for this audience. So they may not tear their eyes away.
So what's your
I will
message
go
for
with
these people?
dark. I think the message is like, I think I want to impart upon them like the importance of the presence and of treating each other with like generosity and kindness and peace, and not to, whilst sometimes hurting people is like a part of the nature of our pantheons, I suppose. It isn't a necessity. It isn't an inevitability. Like these people have a choice here, and they ought to be mindful and present and like calm down essentially. I think that's what I want to impart upon them. Drop your weapons. And I think like, yeah, what this looks like is like I think bathed in that snake sun, we see again like tears, black like neon wings spread silhouetted against this light. And of course like a banjo comes out of nowhere, but I think it's like an electric banjo now.
Amazing.
And
Why is that even a thing?
I don't know. It totally is. It is a neon electric banjo for sure. Like with like a black rim and stuff against like the drum there. And I think like he strums like a banjo chord on it, but it is very like, oh yeah. And I think this is Tyr doing a cover of some of Apep's like music that he recalls from like previous pantheons.
It's sort of like Lindsay Sterling on a really bad trip.
Yeah, exactly. Like acid neon Lindsay Sterling with a banjo doing a cover of Apep's music.
Wow. Please roll with dark for this performance?
Question mark? Yeah, I totally will. I have a -1 with dark, so I'll just re-roll these dice. I got a 7.
Ooh.
Whew.
So yeah, on a 7 to 9, nominate a fellow player to choose and describe one of the following for you. I have a feeling on
Yeah,
what one of the consequences might be.
I think it's only fitting that I will nominate Apep / Ryan to choose and describe one of the following, since I am playing Apep's music.
So, Apep, while you're considering that, tier, on a hit, the audience is changed by your performance, gaining you a string on the person most affected. So, who's the person most
Aww.
affected? Do you want to choose one of these people? Do you want to name some named NPC that was in that train car? Do you want it to be Apep?
I was gonna say, is Apep affected by that? Like, how I want to know how Apep is feeling.
You had a successful performance.
In the comic, it's weird for gods not to be affected by their gods' performances. So yeah, you can totally affect Apep if you want. I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I will totally affect Apep and take a string on Apep.
Nice. Apep, you have a choice to make there and to describe.
I'm just realizing that since I'm the Where Serpentine playbook, I probably should have given Tyr a string to start because the werewolf is not subtle and everyone gets a string. But whatever. Tyr has found a way to get strings. It evens out. I'm torn because part of me is like, you gain the attention of another god who arrives and twists your performance to their own ends because we have some other gods who are incoming anyway. But also part of me likes the performance takes everything you have because gods are vulnerable when performing. But I mean, I think it's got to be other gods show up.
Well, I
Because
mean,
we had other gods who were trying to find us, and now there's this godly beacon of banjo.
I mean, that's already happening, so you don't have to
True,
choose
true.
like a null choice.
Yeah, so the performance takes everything you have. Gain a condition for you in the audience. What? Do I pick that condition then?
You and Lauren can talk it out, but yeah, if you got an idea.
I am open.
Oh no. I was hoping that you would have a fully formed idea I could just pretend was mine.
Ooh, let me think.
Nope, Ryan Spotlight.
No! I hate the spotlight.
We're all looking at you.
Oh, I can think of some
sun,
maybe.
and all you do is shine lights on me.
Lauren, what'd you say?
Oh, I feel like I have so many. I feel like there are a lot around like could borrow from our game of Never Knows Best to go for like matched pair or like add something about the covers or duets or duos or being smitten by the sun or like blinded, maybe that could be a good one.
Sun blinded to call back to a different pantheon, but yeah, the only thing that was coming up to me was like fickle, but I like your versions better.
So do you think it's something like Sunblind or something about the two of you together? Or...
Well, and it affects your audience too. And I'm like, what would matched pair even mean on an audience?
Oh, that's a good point. I mean, Sunblind would make sense given what's happened.
I mean, I think if you went with something like matched pair, like these people would swear their undying neon loyalty to Tyr.
True. And I mean, we do have a precedent set for convincing fans to update their merch immediately. So maybe now there's maybe a bunch of a pet Tyr t-shirts.
Oh, totes. Yeah, into that.
So
buy one for Global.
Yeah, I think as that happens, like you're giving your performance to them, they're swayed by it, they hear you, and they all like as you're finishing up your performance, they all like pull out their phones and they're swiping. It's like they're going in and changing settings in the menus, and all of their phones begin to glow instead of gold. Tyr, what color do they turn?
I was distracted by the chat. What was the little bit before you asked me what color?
So their phones, which have all been glowing from their Mithraeum app that they've been running, they've been glowing gold. What color do they turn?
But it has to be like neon. Neon pink and neon blue because I want that bisexual lighting in there.
So yeah, and it's even got
totally
like an active
bisexual
swirl going on with it. And so you see all these lights come up from their phones, and Tyr, you feel a rushing of power and energy as your eyes begin to glow that same swirling dual tone lighting, which I think is probably about the point when Enma, Khonshu, Imanchu, or whatever, who's making the entrance here.
Sorry, the neon by eyes are also amazing. I think I'll take the lead on the entrance. And would it be appropriate to would it be appropriate to like call back to the foreshadowing that we were doing in the last couple of episodes?
What I'm sorry, would bringing in meta format nonsense bullshit be appropriate? Never. Not in
Fair.
my games.
Fair. Okay, so then
just so I know what I'm rejecting, let's hear your idea.
yeah. So the new moon eye of Nyx that we saw in the like the foreshadowing panel in the previous one. I think as Khonshu and Enma enter the underground, Khonshu says to Enma, let's see who lies with snakes, and pulls out the eye of Nyx and holds it up, and her eyes go full eclipse, and so we get the repeat of the panel of Khonshu holding it up to one eye, and that's when she sees Tyr, and then says, and this is when Khonshu says, "I wish I was someone better," and tosses the eye of Nyx to Enma. This is probably a bad idea, but this is where it's going.
Can I just say that as this goes down, like the sun ball turns into like sun snake turns back into Liam, so that you can have that fang image from your epilogue.
Oh yes, perfect.
Nice. And just to throw it out there, when at some point in here, I don't remember where y'all got to, but Nyx sort of got killed, or at least we presume totally discorporated. Ra's been wandering around with one of her eyes, a glowing silver full moon orb that sort of floats and does magic-y things. Apep, there we go. Apep found was gifted her other eye, the new moon eye, the one that had never been touched by the light of the sun, and that's what Khonshu has here, and has just tossed to Enma. Enma, you've been approached several times by Ra over the course of this. She's not been shy about going around and trying to recruit people to her pantheon. She says that she needs 12 gods, and she doesn't care if she has to kill all of you and incarnate new ones, or whether you see sense and join her pantheon. But you know that she's also desperately been looking for that other eye. Enma, what do you do?
Oh, that is a very good question. I think like a crown instantly forms on Enma's head, and Enma's going to place the eye right into like the front centerpiece. So now, shall we get to your part of the bargain?
I missed something that I wanted to do in there.
Oh,
go for it.
Rewind. What's happening?
Sorry. So the thing with the eye, what I was hoping to trigger with that was a gaze into the abyss.
Oh yeah. What's your question? What are you wondering about?
Well,
we have this moment
when
it's hanging in the air.
I guess my question would be the who is who is it that's that is with Apep. I guess I kind of just stated like, oh, that's who, but this probably should be a gaze into the abyss.
And who is in who? What? Sorry.
Who is it that is laying with Apep? Does that make sense as a?
That totally makes sense.
Okay, so I'm gonna re-roll these and add my dark, which is 2, and that's a 12. And this will also trigger my ability Metamorphosis. When you gaze into the abyss on a 7 or higher, the abyss will also show you what you must become, and you can permanently swap 2 of your stats.
All right. So gaze into the
Just
abyss on a 10
sticking
up.
a pin in it. This also triggers one of my moves that we can come back to.
Oh, what is the move? Just so I have it in the back of my head.
The big reveal, because no one's seen me as a sun snake before but Tyr. And 2 people just entered the scene.
Love it. Okay. So on a 10 up, the abyss shows you lucid visions. So yeah, you pull out that eye, and you've been like toying with it. You've had it in your hand, I think, the whole time through that encounter, and sort of on this trip over here, you've been wondering, like, what is this feeling that I got? And you pull out the eye, you pull it up to eye level, and it's not black. It's not dark new moon at the moment. It is, for the first time, reflecting in light, and it's shining blue and purple and swirling, just like the eyes of Tyr floating in midair right in front of you.
So,
Which and then this gazy backy thing.
okay, so with
There we go, metamorphosis.
yeah, so with metamorphosis, I'm going to exchange my my dark and my volatile. So I will have -1 dark and +2 volatile.
Oh my!
Because this is apparently what I'm going to have to become if I'm going to show Opep a sun snake. I'm going to have to be abusive to Opep, and I don't like it, but this is where we are. Sorry, Opep.
And so yes, we have another big reveal here, and this is aimed at Enma and Tyr, correct? So I don't think this is really new enough to hit Khonshu with a new big reveal.
True, Khonshu knows I'm a giant snake, but she doesn't necessarily know I'm a giant, also the sun snake, because I don't think we really established that Surya was also part of it.
Okay, so
I mean,
then
it's up to Barry if he wants to.
Hey, you can just go ahead and take +1 forward against me, because that's awful. Why'd you do that? You shouldn't have eaten Father Richards or Magdalena or any of these people.
I didn't eat Father Richards. Magdalena forced his godliness into me without eating. It was the worst of all worlds.
But if this is a new reveal, then I need to hear, like, what does Sun Snake mean? Like, how are you different? What does this look like?
Well, I mean, the obvious what's different is that before it was like the gothest snake possible, all super black and glossy in the sort of like perpetually reflecting bisexual lighting that wasn't actually there sort of way, where it's the kind of bluish, unnatural blue-black awesomeness. Except that now is like literally the face of the sun, glowing, painful to look at cobra thing with cobra fan out that appears to have like solar flares coming from it. It's intense. Before it kind of folds back into snake, then folds back into Opep. Wait, Liam.
Wow. So, Tyr and Enma, you're going to gain a string on Opep. Is there something that either of you would like to tempt him to do right now? Tyr? And Khonshu, sorry.
I think Tears is just like whether like corporeally or like incorporeally, like be by his side in like whatever capacity you can provide that. Like he's very much like that doesn't need to be all of you. That can just be a part of you. But as long as I have some of you with me, like I'll be complete and whole.
Do you pledge your loyalty to Tyr forever, whether you're together or apart, Opep? Get an experience if you do.
I mean, yeah, if you accept me as I truly am, experience.
Do you accept him or reject him here?
Yeah, I totally accept. I totally accept Apip at this moment.
Aw, then you both get experience and you get all mushy with each other. Enma, do you accept or reject Giant Sun Snake, Opep revealing his true form to you?
That is a tough question because, like, change and eating people are things I'm both very familiar with, and I'd be remiss to deny someone because of that. But I don't want to accept Liam on, like, a fundamental basis.
That makes sense. So, if you reject him, he takes +1 forward against you. But yeah, that's string. Do you have anything that you want to tempt Liam with right now?
I mean, I can't think of anything right now. I might think of something when the sparks start flying. We'll see.
Yeah, hold on to it. And Khonshu, them same questions.
With the string and whether I accept, I definitely don't accept this. This is not good. Ryan's already got the +1 versus Kanju down, so I want to save the string.
Cool.
Quick clarifying question: do I actually get XP from this? Because that's not necessarily baked into the move.
You got tempted to get XP,
Oh,
I think.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
I'm having trouble thinking that many moves back, but I feel like it happened. So we really can't play for forever. And we do have to come to some sort of conclusion. So, I'm just going to go around the circle and get where people are on this conflict, where you are on moving forward and the arguments sort of going on. So, Tyr, you've got this group of new converts. You're glowing in your best pulsing bisexual lighting. You got your snake man right at your side. He all glowy and shit. Now Enma and Khonshu have busted in and started being all, well, Enma's always Enma. And Khonshu's being like super jealous. It is like really not a good look for her. But what's your look? Is it talk it out? Is it fight it out? Is it hug it out?
Oh, I feel like the last time Tyr ended things in violence, it just led to him losing one of the things he held most closely to him. So I feel like Tyr is a person of words and hugging. So I think like yeah. If the hugging is consensual, that's probably one of his preferred options.
So you try and talk
for
it
him.
out.
Yeah, I think that's his
Okay. Upet. Your hot take on the situation, how you would approach things.
Yeah, I think that the fact that the Sun Snake immediately folds into regular snake folds into Liam is Liam trying to de-escalate because he does not want to fight Khonshu. And I mean, he does want to fight Enma, but not necessarily right now, right here. But he's down for it if it goes there. But he doesn't want to fight Khonshu. There's no beef there.
Khonshu. They're both so smug and condescending and like not even caring about your investment or emotion at all that like you can't even get a rise out of them. They're not even willing to put any sort of passion investment in this. They just seem to sort of care that you're there and being upset.
I think that my take on this is that I would Edmund and I talked about there being two things that Z cares about: loyalty and betrayal. And I don't know if I can do one, but I can clearly deliver the other one. And so my take is, why don't you deal with the person who is betraying you and placing someone above you, and I'll deal with the person who's betraying me, and we'll call it even.
So let's team up. These both have deserve what they have coming to them, sort of thing.
Right.
Enma.
I mean, Tia hasn't betrayed me, but I'm here on like Khonshu's behalf. So if you want me to fight someone, I'll fight someone. It might also like kind of turn into me fighting Pluto. We'll see, but.
Oh, Barry was thinking that that with the way that Oz had, or yeah, the way that Oz had betrayed Enma in the previous thing with the smooches and placing anyone before Enma. I thought Barry thought that was a thing.
Oh. As long as Tira's down for murder, I'm fine with it.
Nice.
So looking at it, we'll have a one-time offer and response. Enma has a string on Apep. Khonshu has a string on Tyr. If y'all want to win this, if y'all want to have a justified beatdown on them, then you'll spend those strings, and each of you will get an offer of XP if you let the other side win. If you don't take the offer, then your side will win.
Can I complicate things a little?
Always.
By saying that when I see Khonshu, I'm going to say that I'm sorry I wasn't good enough for you, and I'm trying to trigger self-deprecating.
Read that
which means
move.
That if I talk shit about myself to someone, they can argue and give me a string, or they can let it slide and shut me down. But she can't ignore the fact that I'm trying to make her feel sorry for me.
That's fair. So the complication that I was going to ask was like, because we could, I'm totally down for what you're doing if I can, well, what I would was hoping to put on the table with the like dealing with betrayal one way or the other was to spend a string to have you leave with me before this goes anywhere that we don't want it to. But I also don't know if you're still in your darkest self, which would be a challenge to you.
I'm clearly not still in my darkest self. The sun must have risen or something.
Must have.
I've been acting fairly rationally. I think we did like a time skip from my darkest self trying to eat things.
Okay. Alex or Lauren, do either of you have a complication that you'd like to throw out into this conflict? Or do you have a response that, like, yes, deal X sounds good?
I mean, I think like Tyr is fine for a murder love if murder love is an option. Yeah, like I feel like Tyr's like point from which he went budge is he's found Apip again, and that is a rare, like, unique, beautiful gift, and he would do so much to like protect that, and he's definitely down to murder whomever with Enma for Enma's pursuits and goals, but that is cosmically linked to his being.
So, Enma, anything you want to add into the discussion?
I mean, on a list of people that I'm willing to hurt here, it's pretty much just Pluto. But it seems like Kanji's got that sorted. So Emma's like, yeah, whatever Kanji wants me to do, I am down to support that as long as it's not being mean to Tia.
All right.
Unless, I don't know. There's probably a whole bunch of reasons in which that does happen. We'll find out.
So, the delicious thing here is that the final decision, the ultimate deciding factor in how this all goes, is up to you, Ryan. Because it sounds like Tyr, your man, is all ride or die. So the choice is, do you go with Tyr's plan of let's just fight and y'all are going to take the XP, 1 XP each, and lose? Or do you not get involved with this fight, let Enma go to town on Tyr and walk off with Khonshu, at which point you get 2 XP?
I mean, and I'm not just punting here. I'm curious to know whether my attempt to talk Khonshu down by apologizing works, because I know it's not going to work, but I kind of want her to fail before I decide if I'm going to fight.
I mean, it sort of seemed like it was getting through if Barry was offering you the XP to leave with her.
Yeah, but Barry said that Khonshu was going to argue, and that he knew how.
Barry?
And I'm not going to let Khonshu get away without saying feelings.
How dare you? Fuck you, Ryan. I love you, Ryan. So when I came in here, I was ready to take down OPEP, but now having seen like Liam actually like as Liam apologize, Country says you can be better. You just need to. I'm sorry. I apologize for this in advance. You are good enough for me. We can be together. You just need to not think with your snake. It's 2 a.m. and I apologize. I'm very sorry.
God damn it, Barry.
Oh.
So what were my options here?
So
are you changing your offer then, or what, Country?
That was for the self-deprecating. I was like, like, I'm sorry, I'm not good enough for you. My position is no, you are good enough for you. You just need to. You can't let OPEP be the one making decisions. It has to be Liam making decisions.
All right.
So me revealing that it's Liam that Susanna and Khonshu have the feelings for is going to give the string for self-deprecating.
Then yeah, Liam, you get a string on Khonshu there.
Already stuck it on my sheet. And I kind of know what I'm going to do, but what were the XP variations again? Because I already forgot.
If the two of you get your just desserts from the other two and let them work out their feelings of betrayal and all that, you each get an XP. If you abandon Tyr to Inma's kind ministrations and go off with Khonshu and agree with her and all that, you'd get 2 XP.
So we see Liam just kind of consider for a moment, and his Liam eyes turn into kind of snake eyes. We see his shadow like impossibly snakeify and just swallow the light behind it, kind of like killing off the Surya side of him almost. And he goes, no, I am OPEP, and I'm gonna take the XP to get beaten down because nah, I am the snake. It's not thinking about the snake.
So yeah, Enma, what condition do you leave Tyr with?
Man, that is a tough one.
And can't you be thinking about what condition you're going to leave OPEP with?
I kind of want to go for like something like a foil, or like trying to convey the concept of like the foe fighting villains, like the missed punch, and then they do like the words are hard, but I know what I'm trying to say.
I'm not sure. I'm sorry. It's very late for me. My brain is trying.
Yeah, same here. Let's just go for
Barry, do you have an idea?
I do. It might also trigger another move. But the I won't trigger another move.
Fine.
I won't trigger another move. I think I think we'll go with Lost Cause.
Wow.
The move that I was thinking about triggering was Try Harder Next Time. When you screw up, give yourself an appropriate condition and take one forward. Which I think that like end to end the relationship with OPEP is a screw up.
Yeah, go for it.
Cool. I'm going to give myself the condition Desperate.
Alex, is Homewrecker appropriate?
I was thinking I've used that one too many times. But the one I was thinking was Stunt Double.
Oh, nice. I love it.
Nice. Then yeah, I think we're gonna end with like random street people with their phones going sort of flying through the air. The two of you end up bruised and battered, and the other two of you end up emotionally exercised, at least for the moment. And I think we're gonna end the issue there. That was that was all sorts of messed up and amazing. I am not even sure how some of those move stacks worked or if they were at all legal, but they were very interesting, so I'm into it. What are you whining about? My dog is very excited about the emotion too. It's so much that it's overwhelming her. Uniception was amazing. Oh, that was fun. We can do a very short, like, wishes and stars. Just because I would like some flags towards the last session. We didn't do our epilogue bits, but I figured we'd pick that up again when David got back next week. We'll start with Alex. Stars for the session.
Be quick and go for one. Lauren, putting neon as one of your purviews. A freaking plus. Best idea ever.
Nice. Barry?
My star goes to the undying relationship between Tyr and OPEP, which was good enough for me to watch like many hours of on YouTube, and now it is even unbreakable by me coming in and being a real jerk.
Nice. Lauren?
Just thank you for letting me come in as this one session as Tier to stir up shit, 'cause it's always my main MO, especially when I pop into Monsterhearts for like a session. And the Tier up for Union was like everything I wanted and then some. Like it was so saccharine and sweet, but it was super sad and filled with drama. And I'm glad I could get some like MH drama in there just by existing and going to up and be like, I found you, like, yeah, like, oh my gosh, the turnaround from like going to Enma and saying, I give my body to your cause, and then having that flip side of like, oh no, but feelings and stuff, and like, when we don't know, like, when in time we'll get to be together again, and just indulging in all of that angst. So many stars for you, Patrick, for letting me do that, and then to Ryan for being up again. I have so many feelings. I want to mute myself, but I'm so happy right now.
That was beautiful. Ryan?
So, honorary mention star to Tier being suddenly all for murder love, which is the compound word I never knew that I needed. Real star to Barry for being the ride or die power couple who never really hit it off and just kind of failed through their couple issues. Yay for being okay with that, and yay for trying to kill me.
This is Tier's fault. It's fine. I'll be okay.
Everything is Tier's fault forever, even if he's not in the series. So
it says so right on the sheet, I'm pretty sure.
True. Stars all around. That was amazing. I think my biggest sort of joy out of this was that even with like wildly changed characters, even with new characters, even with time skips and things moving forward without you, this pantheon, this whole like 3-month arc is rich enough, is complex enough that that there's all this stuff to pull from, that there's all these like threads and stories, that instantly things got complicated, that there's all sorts of backstory and mythology and just references and bits to pick up and play with in really fun ways. Enma, Alex, I love your willingness to just go for, oh sure, Enma did that, that sounds right, let's do more of that. Barry for Conchu, I also love how she was just 100% into this bad idea of a relationship from the very first moment, was convinced like this was the thing, it all sounded right to her, and it was just, it was fucking pep. Lauren, I love the return of Tier. I love Neon Tier. I love Neon Arm. I love Neon everything. And I love how much you always want to come in and just like upend the emotional landscape and be like, let's try something different. And Ryan, Opeb, Liam, former Pluto. It's all just the best. I love your weird, sort of desperate, sort of awesome underground god. And it was just he makes the worst decisions. I mean, Oz makes the worst decisions, but Pep is just. He's loyal and a snake all at once. It's beautiful. And just as a love for the session, in addition to all the uniception, complicated moves on moves sort of moves, I love the continuing, like, nah, let's just ignore the people in the background until there was the explosion of, like, people flying and neon dream cars wandering through your tunnels and people in Tron armor and Buster swords and shit. So I love that that's happening. Alex, wishes going forward into the finale.
Oh man, I want to fight Liam. It's gotta happen. I said it, so now it's true. We
I
haven't
bet you
fought
have
for
been
so
called
long.
out.
I mean,
I'm not
I
even
called
gonna
out
say
Enma
anything else.
first.
What'd you say, Ryan?
Oh, I called out fake Enma first, so yeah, I am prepared to accept your challenge.
True enough.
All right, you and me behind the bike sheds, 3 p.m. Do it.
Barry, wishes for the finale.
Alex, you're in the finale. And then is David back next week? Is that
David is back
that
next
was
week.
okay? Cool. The only reason that I don't want to see poor Liam get it from Enma is because I want to see Ra get it. But that's me. I'm also thrilled that I was in a scene with Enma that I did not have to be terrified of, which felt good, and I want to have another one of those. Though I don't know if I gave Enma more reasons to terrify me or a lot more reasons to terrify me this session. So
Look,
that'll
I
all be-
mean, as long as you have sacrificial goats around, you can make a real good friend with the Tyrannosaurus.
it's true.
Lauren, I know you're not back next week, but I don't know. Wishes, thoughts, ruminations on the game or the series or the whatever.
Oh man. So my thoughts are just, oh, I don't know. I'm just very happy for like the up tier OTP in general, and I'm very happy I got to play tier 1 last time before this season is over.
Same.
That was so beautiful. And yeah, very, very happy to bring back like Neon Tier, who had kind of like changed a bit and was like super dark and like, I don't know. I guess I'm just happy that I took the Woden aesthetic and tried and like managed to unfuck it a bit. I'm very happy about that. And I think wishes for the future is just a really, really good finale. I will definitely tune in for that one because it's going to be amazing. And just love to all of you. You're all such delightful, amazing players, and I've got a crush on all of you. And I don't know, this game is lovely and everything I wanted in Monsterhearts, I guess. So thank you, Patrick, for like writing it.
Yay! Ryan, wishes for the finale.
I mean, I kind of wish for Eris to reappear in a way that makes all of this constant Liam shifting his loyalties even worse. But it would be even better if Tyr was still around. So, I mean, broken heart emoji that Lauren won't be in the next one. But yay for Enma being in the next one, because maybe we can team up and eat Ra before Enma kills me. I mean, I don't know. I can hope. I can dream. Maybe we can instead befriend Ra, because that was kind of the text of my line from the epilogue. I don't know. Maybe I can manage to quote Baphomet at least 3 more times in the next session. I don't know. I will wish for that.
Nice. Good wish. Solid.
I wish for 5.
Do I hear
Challenge
6?
fucking
6?
accepted.
I believe in you, Ryan.
So, wishes I'm gonna poke Sarah to see if she's available for next week's finale. I too would love for a finale bit out of Eris, and we'd talked about possibly having her in. I don't mind having 5. Lauren, if anything changes, I don't mind like an epilogue scene or a guest appearance from Tyr or Angus or whoever next week. But more like definitely next week I'm looking forward to climax and mortals doing magic that they have no right to, and all of y'all fighting and doing whatever. I'm so super down to see like where this all comes to a conclusion. But looking forward past that, I'm looking forward to next month, because there's changes I've been wanting to work on with this. There's stuff I've been wanting to write for like GM support and things like that. And I just find that, especially with the holidays, like all of my available time and mental energy goes into like reviewing the sessions, getting ready for the next one, working on graphical nonsense, things like that. And I'm not running anything in January at the very least. So I'm looking forward to trying to keep the discipline of keeping those like 6 hours a week blocked out and actually getting some updates and some more work done on this. Because I have a lot of cool ideas from all the things that have happened with all of y'all and the other people we've had along the way and the various pantheons and stuff. And I want to see where this goes. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording here.